Hello Hardcase, this is a masked analyst. Welcome back. I'm glad to see you back after your long absence. I've missed your videos. I thought very highly of them. But don't worry, I'm not about to praise you or set you up as a god or anything like that right now. In fact, quite the opposite. I have to say that I'm rather disappointed by your behavior over the past few days. I think you've been making much more of things than you should have. I can understand why you might be unhappy with the Inquisitor and onelessgod for posting your videos without your permission. Obviously you don't want your face being used or what have you, but for whatever reason, and I'm not really sure the reasoning behind it, but I can understand it's reasonable to be upset about this. What I don't think you realize, though, is it looks to me that like the Inquisitor did this with the best of motives. I don't think he intended to piss you off. I don't think he even realized he was going to piss you off by doing this. I think he admired you, or he at least admired your work, and that's why he did this. Your reaction to him and your reaction to onelessgod seems to be way out of proportion to the sins that they have done against you. Similarly, you're not the only one who has behaved badly the past few days. I think onelessgod can be easily taken to task for some of the comments he's posted in his videos in reaction to your approach. Let's just say that calling you a faggot and a liar and this and that, it's kind of like high school or junior high school tactics, and I kind of expect more from someone who is going to be the glue that holds everything together. Now, onelessgod might object and say, hey, masked analyst, where have you been all this time? You haven't been doing anything in the atheist movement. Who are you to criticize me? And that's fair enough. I can understand that. I don't claim to be the end-all and be-all. I don't claim to necessarily have moral justifications to criticize someone. I'm just making some observations. So if he wants to dismiss my comments because I haven't been active, that's all very well and good, and I'll understand that. But getting back to you, Hardcase, technically, legally, well, first of all, you said that what they've done is plagiarized from you. That was the wrong word. Plagiarism is when you take someone else's work, their ideas, and you pretend like it's your own, and you don't ascribe credit to them as you should. And to me, plagiarism is a worse sin than copyright infringement. And I think what you meant was they violated your copyright. And legally, the legalities of it gets kind of technical, and it's going to take me way too long to go into than I want to in this video. In some other videos I may go into it. It goes into the Digital Millennium Copyright Act and fair usage and anonymity on the internet. And it can all get kind of complex and way beyond what I want to go into now. What I'd like to discuss instead is the expectation of whether, once you put out a video in public, whether you should be able to unpublish it, whether you should be able to take it down and not have anyone else repost it. Now, I'm not going to talk about what the law is. I'm going to talk about what the law should be, or at least my opinion of what the law should be. And I recognize different people could put emphasis on different things, but in my opinion, I think that people should have the right to republish a video that has been taken down against even if it's against the will of the person who created the video. In a perfect world, that would be the case. I'd make certain exceptions to this if it could be demonstrated that by doing so jeopardize someone's safety or jeopardize national security. But in general, there are important policy considerations in saying no. Once it's been put out in public, then you don't have the right to withdraw it. I want you to do a thought experiment here. Imagine what would happen had there been an internet around back in the 1930s, late 1930s, early 1940s. Now, the Nazis were convicted, the high-ranking Nazis were convicted in the Nuremberg trial, largely because there was so much written evidence that they left. They documented all their crimes, or most of their crimes. There were tons and tons of evidence documenting the Holocaust. But what would have happened had they not written this down, but instead made videos? What if Hitler never wrote Mein Kampf, but instead talked it out in a speech, made videos covering the highlights, and put them on YouTube instead? Well, YouTube probably would have taken them down because the videos were hateful and they would have violated the terms of service. But for the thought experiment, let's suppose that he did indeed make those videos and YouTube had left them up, and that this was an inspiration of a movement which led to the Holocaust. Now let's further in this thought experiment pretend that after World War II, when World War II was ending, Hitler did not commit suicide and that he was captured alive. But before he was captured, he realized that people were moving in on him, that the Allied forces were moving in and about to get him. And so he sent out a message to all his fellow Nazis saying, take down all the videos, destroy the evidence on YouTube. In that situation, suppose all the videos had been removed before he was captured. My question is this: should someone who may have downloaded those videos, should they be allowed to repost those videos so others can see the atrocities that Hitler had done? Or should Hitler and his Nazis be able to bury them? I'm sure that there are some Holocaust revisionists, if all this evidence had been on YouTube, there are some Holocaust revisionists who would love to be able to remove the evidence. Okay, that's just one example. Very far-fetched, but here's something maybe a little bit more realistic. Imagine the CEO of a corporation, a scam company, who's out to scam people, releasing a video proclaiming, "Oh, we've just bought out a subsidiary, and they're going to make us tons and tons and tons of money, and they're going to do X, Y, and Z," and he praises it to high heaven in the video. And later it turns out that the CEO was lying through his teeth, that it was a total scam, that he never in fact acquired this subsidiary. But the only proof of this was the video, and by the time he was caught, he had taken down the video so that no one could see. Do you think that there should be a law against people reposting the video so that they can show what a scam artist he is? In fact, shouldn't that video be made public so that no one else can invest in his companies? Shouldn't he be held publicly accountable? Shouldn't people be able to see the evidence? Or should the scamster be able to bury it under the technicalities of copyright law? Okay, now let me give you one more example that might hit even a little bit closer to home.